Here we go.
We're here, and we're here with Kiki. Say
Hi.
hi, Kiki.
Hi.
Kiki is a member here at CommitFit, our in-person operation. And when we talked on the last episode, first of all, if you didn't listen to that one, go back and listen to that one first. But it's all about support systems, right? And what to kind of do when your support system fails you, or what to do when you're kind of stuck in this in between as you start your fitness journey, right?
Mhm.
So let's just we right before here we were talking a little bit about where you came from, why you started. Um, just give us a little bit of background on that. Tell us kind of what you were telling me over there.
So how I got here this time was kind of how I came here last time.
And when
Although
you were here last time, how long ago were you here?
I was like 6 years ago.
That was before I was here.
Mhm.
Um, and then you left for a while.
I quit.
Yeah. Why?
I
Be a
uh,
lot closer.
I quit. I didn't have patience to stick it out, and I couldn't get myself out of my thoughts, so I
Mhm.
quit
Okay. So what had you come back?
because I knew that something needed to change, and if I give it more than what I gave it last time, something has to change.
Mhm.
I was going to Lifetime for 3 years, and then I just got to a point where I was like, do I even like this place? I'm not even I'm not like I couldn't I couldn't go there and like change mentally. I couldn't I'm not nothing's changing physically. I'm like, okay, something's gotta change.
Mhm.
And then I thought of Chris and here I am.
Bitches always come back.
I was waiting for that. Okay, so you were saying when we were just talking a minute ago, you talked a little bit about some of the mental barriers that you had to break before you could come back.
Yeah, so when I look back at some of my life and try and reassess why things are happening and like really sit down and change and look back, I noticed a pattern and I was like, "Oh, maybe I'm part of this problem." And so I think it takes sometimes to do that in order to change. You have to look back at what you did before and you obviously don't want to make the same mistake, so you have to do something different.
Listen, that reflection is so powerful. Like to be able to sit back and step outside yourself and look back and like not just look back, but then kind of analyze and try and understand those things. Like that's a big deal.
Because the problems kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, and it was like the same thing, but with a different person. And I
Uh-huh.
was like so aware even when I was in it, but I didn't want to hurt them before they hurt me kind
Uh-huh.
of thing. So I just like let it ride.
Who's them?
Like just in past relationships with guys.
Oh, I see. Not like friends and family kind of deal.
No, no, but some, but that's different. This pattern that I had was more with guys. And so um I was like, that's not like how it's supposed to work. I was giving more than what I was getting, but I think giving is better. So I kept making up excuses for myself, but like then I would be neglecting my needs to fit theirs and things like that. So I started noticing this pattern until one day, like it just got so big where I was at his house and he wasn't there. And it was like this light bulb just went off. And I was just like, what am I doing? I have my own house. Like, why? Like, what is
Where
like?
was he?
I don't know, but it didn't matter. He said he'd be back, and he didn't come back.
Yeah.
And that's not like why I changed. There was obviously things that happened before. I think this was icing on the cake. It was like nobody's words can like explain themselves or prove to themselves. It was like, no, he just showed you this again, and you're
Mhm.
sitting here, and he's not here, and he's said he'd be back, and he's not back, and that's like all I needed. And it didn't. It wasn't like I hate you, I'm mad at you kind of thing. It was like a oh my gosh, I deserve so much better than this kind of thought, and I never thought that before, and then I was like, "You can leave," and I'm like, "Yeah, I think I'm gonna leave." Had this, like, little thing going on, and then the whole game changed after that.
What do you mean the game changed?
Like, I started thinking about, like, why did I keep going when I knew I should have stopped?
Mhm.
Like, I quit I I started listening to myself, why and then I'm like, I'm just gonna get happy, like, if I wanna if things in my life that are going wrong need to change, then I need to put better energy towards what I don't have, but more so, I need to focus on what I do have and be happy for that and not put focus on the bad things that are happening. And so then I started saying, why is this thing in my life so good and this thing in my life is so bad? And then I realized, because I don't worry about the thing I have. I don't even think about it. I just always have that good, like, it's always there. I don't have any resistance towards it.
Mhm.
And the things that I didn't have, I thought terrible things of. And I was like, oh my gosh, why do I do that? So subconsciously, I was doing things I didn't even know I was doing. But then I became aware of it and then I could change it. And some people, it's so hard for them to, like, for me to see that I was the problem was like a good thing because then I could fix it. But most people don't see it that way. Most people don't even want to see that they're the problem. Do you see? But then I was like, "Oh my gosh, I'm getting better at this," because instead of bashing myself for what I didn't know, I'm proud of myself for seeing it, and now I can change it.
So how does that relate to when you quit the first time
So the first time,
at the
first of all,
gym?
why did I quit exercising ever? Like, I love like, I need it in my life. I'm never ever not exercising. I'm never ever not lifting. And once again, it was because of a guy.
Mm.
And ultimately, I had to change everything about my life to accommodate him, and in the long run, he ended up leaving anyway. So, what am I doing?
Well, so you're exercising because you love it or because you want to get,
I should have never
you
when I
know,
got into these relationships, why or when I whatever, why do I quit working out when I know I need it? Well, I'll do it tomorrow because he wants to have dinner. No, fuck that. I'm going to the gym. Like, why is that so hard? This is for me, for my mental health.
you
Mhm.
said you quit last time because you got in your own head.
Yeah, couldn't get out.
So was it him or what, was it a
No,
guy or
he
was
was
it you?
gone. It was my own thoughts.
What what,
Well, I
what
quit,
were the thoughts?
like, I was only 6 weeks in, I think, and I don't even remember. I just didn't wanna get out of bed.
Okay.
Yeah. And then I was, like, too scared to reach out to you because whatever, about during that time, but I don't know,
Why?
I couldn't where I'm at now, I couldn't get there then.
Why were you scared to reach out?
Maybe because you didn't reach out to me when I didn't come, but I
Hmm.
didn't that wasn't big. That wasn't big in my head. It was
Yep.
just, like, kind of like, all right, well, they don't really care, so why do I care? But no, it's gotta be the opposite. Like, what the
Well, you overcame that this time because
like,
you thought I didn't
well,
care for a
because
minute.
I'm like, okay, here's the pattern again. I'm calling Chris.
Let me let me just set the record here. The reason why I don't go hunting after folks who quit, okay, well, anybody for that matter, okay, like I'll replace you before I chase you because I know what that feels like being on that end. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm,
But it like health and wellness and fitness and mental health and within reason, because mental health kind of can lead to some serious bad shit,
Mhm.
irreversible shit. But with health and fitness, the distance and the silence will do the work more efficiently than anybody and any word could ever say.
mhm.
The impact of that aha moment when you walk past the bathroom mirror or something with a dude, you know what I mean? Just it hits different
Mhm.
and it means way more to you
Yeah.
than it would if I would have said, "Hey, where you been?" Kind of, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I'm not gonna come wipe your ass. I'm not doing any of that. And so because I mean, since I've been a trainer in 20 shit, when did I start? 2008, 7, something like that. It's never if it's not your idea, it won't get done
You want
ever.
and this is what I noticed with Sarah, like, she wants you to want it, and and she wants you to want it because there's nothing she can do to make you
Yeah,
want it, and that is so much better.
And
yeah,
here's the thing too, like, it is no more when we're thinking about, like, the people in our lives and how we want them to be, like, supporting us all the time. It is not their responsibility for you to get your shit together any more than it is my responsibility for you to eat better.
Mhm,
You know what I mean?
mhm.
So
but if you believe that and understand that, when those that you want to support you aren't there, it's not your responsibility to hold guilt for that either.
Mhm.
Y
Wait, say it again.
Part of the reason why I wasn't able to keep in touch with anybody during that time, not just because I'd replaced you before the cheesy kind of thing, everybody and their mother was having babies next to me.
Oh,
Bridget
yeah.
and Lynn's, everybody had kids. I'm trying to run an $8,000 rent with no business. Like, if I didn't have that, nobody comes.
Yeah.
So in my world, it had nothing to do with you or Jane or John or so on, but I was being attacked by a lot of things that just took priority.
Mhm.
And I had to rely on the trainers at the time to help facilitate that, which we didn't have. We've never had a big staff because it's hard to find people who can actually, facilitate a common mission.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? And so when I realized early on, me wanting something from someone for myself because I would want to be treated that way, like the golden rule kind of deal. That's all I mean by that. So if you want it for yourself and things, it's like you don't other people's actions or lack of actions letting you down. It'll suck because you wanted more,
Yeah, but
but you
then
can't do it for them.
no, and so and that's another thing too. I thought people thought the way I did. I thought that people thought that I thought good about everybody. I want everybody to do good because I want to do good. And
Mhm.
like when I hear somebody succeed, I love that. And I thought that was the same until I started really paying attention. I was like, wait, this person says this but does this. I'm like, am I like that? And I'm like, maybe sometimes, but I need to like pay attention to that because I don't want to be like that. And so I just started like really thinking about things and working on myself
Yeah.
and like I said no to things I didn't want to do. Some people got mad, but then they got over it. And I realized in doing what I felt was right for me, then more people kind of like showed me that I was doing what I was supposed to be doing.
Mhm.
They like followed. And I was like,
You
holy
attract the
shit,
right people.
this is awesome
Mhm.
because
hmm
you don't have to like just because you understand somebody and they don't understand you, it's okay. And it took me so long to understand like we just don't think the same. And I used to get so frustrated when somebody didn't understand me because I just wanted someone to understand where I was coming from.
Yeah.
It's so frustrating. But
Mhm.
everyone is where they are like awareness wise and it's okay. And so like there was somebody at Facebook. There was somebody who got on Facebook and trashed me, my friend, and my family. And I couldn't even believe it. I wanted to disintegrate into the ground when this happened. I just didn't want to exist. But in that moment, I knew that if somebody does something like that, I hadn't talked to him in 9 years.
Mhm.
He doesn't even know me anymore,
Is that recent?
No, this 2 years ago. And I just knew that someone who does something like that is hurt. And so I was like, he's hurting. Like something's going on. It has to be because nobody just does that to hurt somebody. Nobody likes hurting people. And I just kind of let it go, whatever. A year later, something happened in his life. And then I started seeing on one of his other social media apps that he was getting sober.
Mm.
And when he was getting sober, I was messaging him like, "I'm so proud of you, blah blah blah." And after like 6 months, 7 months, 8 months, I was like, I said it again, and he said, "You know, you have like every reason to hate me, and I owe you an apology." And it was the best thing ever because
Oh.
like, if you could put yourself where somebody's at mentally, then you understand why they are the way they are. But nobody could do that for me, and I was like, then I thought I was crazy, but I wasn't. It was just a different perspective.
So knowing that, why do your lack of supporters bother you so much?
It did until it didn't, I guess. Because there's people I know that said something bad about me a year ago and I still try to do good for them even knowing that they hurt me. Why do I want to hurt somebody who hurt me? Why would I do it back to them if I know how it feels?
Human nature.
No, that's not
It's
who I
all good.
am. I don't care. Like some people some people are like you give just to like give and I'm like, "What are you talking? Yeah, like
hmm
it's Christmas. Like what are you talking about?" They don't understand that. I don't understand how people take so much. It's a different perspective.
Mhm.
So, when you said that to me,
Said what?
when you said, um, "I'm gonna go live on Facebook,"
Oh.
all you were doing is, like all you were trying to show people was, like, she's happy, I mean, you don't even know half the things about my past. You
Mhm.
just know that I'm happy and that you're proud of
No,
me.
that was the first like, "Oh shit, what is going on?"
Yeah, when I
Because I was like, "Let's go live. You know, you're doing great. You're so
Yeah.
proud of yourself. I'm so proud of you. Let's do this." And you're like,
I told her go live from one of our people's pages, not from
Ooh,
ours.
yeah, yeah.
Jeez, I'm breaking things.
Well,
Skittish. Calm the
I'm
fuck down. You always get this way.
Get what way?
gotta fucking touch everything. Get over here. Fucking, look at me. I'm gonna, and then the mic gets ha, ha, and you fucking just calm the fuck down. Just relax. Look, you got a caffeine drink. Is that yours? Whose is that?
No, it's not
Some
mine,
bitch.
but I
Put
have
that-
had
That's
too much.
what it is. And she smells it, and she's getting all fucking fidgety again.
Did you eat today?
God damn.
Yes.
Fuck
Yes,
outta
I
here.
did, but I've had way more caffeine than her.
Anyway, I said, pick somebody out. You were the first one. Got it. Success sticks out, always sticks out.
Well,
Always.
Thank you. And in that moment, if I would have just taken 5 seconds to think about that, then in that moment, my bad thoughts took over my good ones or the truth ones, you know?
Yeah, the irony is you said nobody wants to be mean.
Yeah.
Like I believe people are genuinely want to be good. I think we're born to be built to be good.
Yeah.
But why the fuck is it we can never be good to ourselves?
Yeah.
Ain't that some shit?
Oh,
I'm not even a woman. I can feel that.
Yeah.
Why? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It-
And so that's
Fuck.
what happened in this past summer. I was like, if I want love, then just be it. Just love everything. Like watch your thoughts. Watch the way you talk to yourself. Like don't talk about the fat on your hip when you're at the gym. Like what are you doing? And so like every time that happened with you, I was like, oh my God, she just like I said, look, I hate this. And you're like, it's not important. And you walk away and I'm like, I want to be like that. Because she just squashes my negative thought. But I have gotten way better at doing that. And so I was aware after I left, I was like, why did I get like that? She's just proud of me. But I couldn't think the good thought before I thought the bad thought. What the fuck?
That's not
man?
wrong. Dude, there's nothing wrong with that.
No,
That's
normal.
why do we scream when something hurts us? I mean, shit, it happens. I mean, giving too much attention to it is where you're gonna drive yourself crazy.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You get over it now, cool. Sooner or later, I mean, unfortunately, we're just severely outnumbered. Unless you decide to squash social media
Oh,
altogether,
I know. I thought
there's
about
no
it.
way. There's no way. And even then, everybody you're around won't do that.
Mhm.
So being positive now is the hardest thing, I think.
I also thought about because before when I lost weight, I always used to post on Facebook when I was at the gym or side to side pictures. And I think too, sometimes I don't even think about posting anything because I'm not thinking about that. I'm thinking about being here, you know? So
Yeah, it's not about showing everybody
Yeah.
that you're here. It's about being here.
yeah.
I feel that.
Like, do you think you feel like you're showing off if you do that?
Like I
Or
think
asking
people
for
think
attention or something?
I think people think I think that, but why? But I don't. So why do I care?
Yeah.
Like my trainer's proud of me. That's it. That's all that was. You know, why do we go there?
Mhm.
It's just you. It's your own thoughts.
And isn't that interesting? Like you have no idea if anybody would actually truly think, "Oh, Kiki's showing off."
Yeah, and then then I thought about, people are like, oh, there goes Kiki again. Well, she's fluctuated her weight her whole life. And I'm like, okay, fine. I'm like having this conversation in my head. I'm like, okay, fine. Even if somebody was thinking that, there's people that weight fluctuates their whole life too. So like maybe I show them that I'm back at the gym. So then they go back to the gym. Like everything I
Who
thought negative,
doesn't?
flip it.
Yeah.
Like you have to flip it.
Right.
I know. I don't know.
Yeah.
And that's the thing too, Kiki. I think it's hard to like, you've said a few things to me here and there. Well, Sarah, you're confident all the time. Like I want to be no, like that is not the case at all. But it's easy to see it that way and
Mhm.
then get yourself kind of stuck thinking that you should be a certain way when you really and then you get into the overthinking thing and you start
Mhm.
panicking over it and that's when you start to go backwards. So being able to take a step outside and change your perspective and see that it's not that way really,
Right.
right? And understand that that's like a projection of an insecurity, not
Mhm.
necessarily the truth.
Yeah. Yeah.
I wonder where and if there's a connection between y- your boy problems or your tendencies and then how you perceive yourself in like a gym atmosphere.
Mhm.
If there's an issue where maybe you don't love yourself enough.
Well, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So if you're here now, did something you said you stopped getting in your own head, like what changed and what is that thing So sooner or later, life is going to come back with harder.
I know.
Like, what is that thing you're
I'm
going
like
to
getting ready
say?
for it.
I know.
What, well,
Get ready for
what are
it,
you
'cause
what are you
I'm
going to
doing good.
say to when it comes? Like, what's your first move? 'Cause I'm sure there are people that are like, damn, I feel that bitch. I know she's going through like, if it's not a guy, then it's a job. If it's not a job, then it's a family member. If it's not, it's a bill. It's always a something. You know what I mean? So what do you? How did you? What are you going to do to prep for that? What is it?
I I took my attention from things and people that weren't with me. And since I've done that, they're they're kind of just going away. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And I was like, wow. Because I didn't when you keep trying to explain something to somebody and they still want to like go at it with you, it's like, dude, I want to be like one. Like, can we just like get along? But no matter what you do, like, you just realize why am I doing this? Why am I trying to prove something to you when you don't even want to work it out? So
So
I just like didn't think about them at all anymore.
so it kind of sounds like, to answer Chris's question, and tell me if I'm wrong, but it sounds like in order to prepare for something like that, you've taken a look at your tendencies in the past.
Hmm.
You understand where they're coming from,
Hmm.
and you understand that if that happens again, the way you fixed it last time was to take your focus off the things that you know were hurting you
Hmm.
and to put your focus on the things that you know will help you.
Yes.
Okay.
Did I tell the story about the guy in sixth grade?
No, not on here.
Holy hell! Here
But
we
I
go.
think that that's what the attachment thing is. But I don't have to think that anymore,
Okay,
and I thought I
got it.
did.
I thought there was going to be like a story, and I'm like, wait a minute.
No, no.
Even I got limits. Okay.
Because you said you think there's a link between how I feel
Yep.
here and the guy,
Yep.
and then
Yep.
so this kid was nasty to me when I was a kid, and he called me names, fat names, whatever. And a few years ago, he reached out to me to want to take me on a date, and I
Fuck
was
that
like,
dude.
I was like,
Unless you like him,
what?
and I take it back.
I was like, do you remember what you did to me? And he kind of did, and whatever. But like in my head, he bullied me, and I believed what he said my entire life, and I didn't have to carry it with me this entire time. I could have let that thought go. And so something happens, and then you catch it, and you get rid of it.
Again, you reflected.
Yeah.
You looked back, you understood, and you changed it.
Step one of the fear guide.
Heck yeah.
Identify.
Identify what the problem is.
That's hard.
It's so
I
hard.
bet you though, somewhere along, like you probably knew that was the shit all along. Something that just tugged at you. You know
Yeah,
what I
I'm
mean?
like, my
We
whole
all- we
life
all
I've been
have
telling
that
the same
thing.
story about my weight, and I'm just like,
Yep, I
well,
get it.
stop telling that story then. It's so easy, but it's like, how did it take me 30 years to get here? And think that's
You
not who
just
you
weren't
are.
ready.
You're
You
not
weren't ready to deal with it.
Mhm.
you're
you
not
know?
your past, you're not your thoughts. You can change anything if you flip it. And
Mhm.
then here we are.
I know, and look at you.
And that message is out there a lot. I think it's easier said than done because what normally people would say to that.
Yep.
I don't know how to answer that besides you have to be ready for it. I mean, you have to decide. It's one way or the other, something is more important than the other. Even if I'm not ready, to get over things, I'll doll it up and I'll package it and I'll sit it right in front of my own eyes every fucking day and I'll stare at it until it blinks. I don't care if it goes away or not. I don't want you. I don't care if you go away. Like I said, I got my little hit list back in the Cro-Magnon shits, right? And I'm not built that way. I know myself enough to know for some reason, I'm not able to, I'm a grudge holding motherfucker. It is what it is.
But
I'm in control of how much I let it dictate my mood,
Mhm.
and I can use it for fuel when I feel like quitting and so on, it's like, oh, that dude's going to say this, or no, if it were me, I would say that about that. Think about what you're doing before you do it. And
Yeah.
if the first thing I have is an excuse or trying to justify a decision that I know is bad, I go double time on whatever it is, not just a workout, anything, almost to the point where it's unhealthy.
so how did you get there? Like what made you, and when things come up in your life, how do you, like, you just close everybody out and just go work on yourself and think about it and fix it? Like,
There's no closing. It is
it never
everything
ends.
is together.
Mhm.
I realized that there's no there's no on and off, couldn't make up its mind, so I broke the switch.
Yeah. I like
The,
because you're.
the valve didn't work, so I broke the valve and I let it flood and I learned how to swim.
Oh, I love it.
That's fucking good.
Yeah.
God damn it. Shit.
Because you can't get there from there. You can't.
Which I had to go through some dark places.
know.
dude.
Yeah.
You have to. You got to go through hell to get to heaven.
Then when you come out and you're good,
That's what
then
the tattoos say. Got to go through hell to get to heaven.
I like it. But then, okay, so like how you just asked me, like, what are you gonna do when the same situation pops up? What did you do? Did you catch yourself and do it better, or did you
Pick the situation. It's a different.
like? I know that now I'm gonna be some guy's gonna come strolling along, and I'm gonna be like, go.
Yo, your first question is
I
gonna be
am
like,
good.
"Yo, you lift, bro?
Yeah,
Let me
yeah.
see them calves."
Yeah.
Ain't fucking with a dude that don't do leg day, homie. Show
Yeah.
us out of here. Don't care how strong your back is. That's what got me in trouble in the first place. Some bitch, show me you squat, yet you deadlift, then let's work. You know what? If you meet a guy, bring his punk ass here
Yeah.
for a freebie. Will help.
Heck yeah.
I've been
That's-
trying to get guys here, and what did Richard say about you?
I
was
don't
like,
remember.
Richard, I'm like, Richard, you'd be scared of her, and he's like, she could probably beat my ass, and I'm like, oh yeah, and like, no guy will
Right.
come here. I don't know
Sarah
why.
ain't beating nobody ass. Fuck out of here.
Yeah, I probably wouldn't.
But
Who the fuck ass you gonna beat?
I don't know. I've never tried.
Actually, I should. She broke my arm. She broke her kid's arm.
Oh,
Shit.
not
oh
this
my
again.
gosh.
I didn't break anybody's arm. I did not break your arm. The dolly broke.
Anyway,
Did it turn red?
remember I said I had a hit list.
No,
she's on it.
I am not on that list.
Anyway,
Okay, so if you what? Go ahead.
no, go ahead. No.
So if there's somebody listening that's like, okay, I feel her. I'm in the same spot. I'm stuck. I don't know what to do. I feel like shit about myself, but I want to feel better about myself and I know I can do it. What's one thing that you would tell them to do?
If there are 10 things in your life going wrong, focus on the one that is going right. Just focus on the one that's going right. Just keep focusing on that. Keep focusing. Keep focusing. Go places that make you happy. Sweat. Clear your head. And then one day, all the other things will start getting better.
Isn't this so interesting? I read a book. I read a book a lot of times, but this one time I read a book and said,
He looked away. He looked away.
This fucking guy. Oh my god, I read a book.
I did. It said something along the lines of think of one thing that you're really good at. Okay, one thing. And then it asked, okay, how'd you get good at it?
Just kept doing it.
You practiced it.
Yeah.
You kept doing it. You had it in the forefront of your mind. Now, think of the one thing that you suck at.
Yeah.
Is that something you've been working on? If you keep thinking, I suck, I need to get in the gym and I need to lose some weight, but you've done nothing about it,
Yeah, you can't.
you have to, the things that you practice are the things that grow, right?
Mhm.
So I think I like that piece of advice.
And you know what's crazy is that I didn't even want to come back to lose weight. I wanted to come back to get happy.
Uh-huh.
That's why I came back. And the more I focused on just being happy and being here and sweating and being sore and who cares, that's when the happiness started showing. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
So sometimes you just have to flip it.
I think the biggest things to take away from this are number one, be reflective, right? Think about where you're at, where you've been, and why.
Mhm.
To kind of gain some perspective on, and especially that why question, gaining some perspective around why things happened that way or why things worked out that way.
Because
And
But then if you just say, you can switch something from why is this happening to me to why am I allowing it to happen?
mhm,
Because I played a part in why that happened. So I need to fix my part in that.
that's perspective.
Oh,
That's
man.
understanding it, right?
Oh my gosh.
But then you have to do something about it,
Yeah.
right? Decide what you actually really want and what's going to get it to you.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
Thank
Thanks for
you.
coming on, Kiki.